Hey guys, welcome to the band review for Sharing a Drink with Matt. Today I'm talking to Jabin from Oceans. So how you been?
Yeah, not too bad.
We meet each other again under better circumstances this time.
Last time was fun.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Anyway, yeah. I want to start off. How long have you been working on this album prior to going into the studio?
So this EP we started recording in 2020.
Wow.
Part 1 came out in 2019, and pretty much straight away it was like, oh, we'll start on part 2 then.
Yeah.
But then of course lockdown happened and there's no shows, no releases, and I kind of just got, I wouldn't say disheartened, but bored, and just sort of left it till last year. And I was like, oh, it's a good time to start up again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like all the instrumentals are actually recorded in 2020. It was only the vocals that ended up getting done in 22.
Okay, and are you the vocalist on all albums? On all the songs on the album?
Yeah. Sorry, hang up this phone call. Yeah, I did all the vocals on this EP. I'm not really a great vocalist, but it's fun.
No, it sounded great. That's one thing I couldn't put a genre to it. It was kind of grungy punk kind of. What sound were you trying to look at or look for?
I guess it was kind of just like evolving as we were playing with it. So for the 2 astronaut EPs we've done so far, the way we write them is we take drum tracks we've already recorded for other songs and we kind of like chop them up and remix them, and then usually just toy around with the synthesizer over the top of the drum tracks to get like a rough idea of how the song's going to go. So it's really like a layer by layer thing. This one just sort of ended up being a weird mix of like punk and a lot of like ambient synth, things like that. Maybe a bit of post rock in there. But yeah, I've had a few people ask what it is, and we don't know what to call it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just now. The next door neighbours are having a domestic. Can you hear that?
Not through the speakers, no.
No. I wonder if it'll come out on the. Who wrote the lyrics? Just you?
Yeah, just me for this one.
Yep.
Which is tricky because I don't really like writing lyrics. And I find like the longer I leave a song sitting there, the more I start to get in my own head about I need to get the lyrics right.
Yeah, definitely.
So it ends up being like this thing where we just wrote down pages and pages of just like stream of consciousness ideas, and then you sort of cherry pick out lines that rhyme. It's a slow process.
Yeah. So when you went into the studio, how long did it take to actually complete the album?
So rather than the studio, we actually recorded all this in my bedroom.
Fantastic.
And the instrumentals were done in about 5 days, I think. Like not 5 days straight, sort of 5 days on and off.
Yeah.
And then once the vocals, like when all the lyrics were written, the actual vocal take was about a day or 2, I think.
Okay.
So like you leave everything set up and throughout the day come back and add like, a chorus here or a verse there or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, all up maybe about a week.
Okay. Well, that destroys my next question because
Sorry.
I was going to ask you if you had full reign in the studio, but so you would have had full reign at your place.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
I kind of, as much as I like recording in a studio, it's fun just recording in your own space. You kind of like, you got no pressure or anything. You can just do it at your own pace.
Oh, definitely, for sure. What was Crash Course about? That's my favorite on the whole.
Crash Course?
Yeah.
Without going too much into it, that one was just about like a relationship that kind of was deteriorating. And the whole idea was like, you're not at the break point yet, but you're on a crash course. You can see it's coming. And like, you're both wearing each other down and it's just getting rougher and rougher.
Yeah.
But
toxic.
Yeah, without being just blatant, like, emo lyrics. I wanted to try and be a little bit more creative with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the thing with the Untitled?
When I did the first EP, like the volume 1, because it was an experiment, I didn't have names for them at the time. I just named them 1, 2, and 3 when I was working on them.
Okay.
And
Yep.
it kind of sat that way for a while. And in my head, I was just like, that's just the name of the song now. It's just Untitled 1, 2, and 3. So when we did part 2, I was like, oh, just keep going with Untitled 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
for sure.
everyone else in Ocean started getting a little bit like ticked off because we've got other songs that don't have names yet. So there's like Untitled 1, Track 1, Song 1, and they're like, you got to give them names because we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But,
It'd be hard to like. This one's called Untitled.
yeah.
Yeah. So did everyone come in together when you're recording it? Was there any bickering or did you play every instrument?
So on these ones, I did play every instrument except for drums.
Okay.
The drums that were pre-recorded, Jacob did those in 2018.
Yeah.
And I asked him beforehand. He's like, "Yeah, you can modify them and do what you want with them."
Excellent.
We want to do a part 3 to this series, and everyone's going to come in on that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we want to make it a bit different, and I figure if everyone's putting in their own like input, it won't just repeat doing the same process over again. But yeah, for this one, it's just all me.
Excellent. So just tell us about the album. Tell us, give us the news.
I guess like thematically, like it was meant to be following up the themes of the first one, which was kind of like just chaos and you don't really know what you're doing with your life. But because of COVID happened in between like the start and the end of writing that EP, I feel like everyone grew a bit and changed, like their outlook on life changed. And I found by the time I came to recording the lyrics, I was a lot more happy than I was when I started. And it seemed weird to like, write downer songs when that's not your headspace anymore.
Oh, of course.
So,
yeah.
I guess if you like listen to the lyrics or read through it, like from 4, 5 to 6, it starts like it gets happier as it goes along. Or it's more of like a place of acceptance, I suppose. Like when it starts out, it's still kind of like that young, frenetic, you don't know where your head's at, and slowly like you're working yourself out till you get to a point where you're just like, yeah, this is my life. I'm just cruising now.
Yeah, definitely. So you were saying that you've got extra songs now, like to make a third one of this. You got songs already written and that. Sort
of. We got ideas because I don't want to just do this again and play it all myself. So I don't want to like have a finished song to bring to everyone. We've got like a riff or a melody or something. We do have Untitled 7 almost finished though.
Oh well, yeah.
Me and Milky got really stoned one night, and he was just playing around on the synthesizer, and straight away I was like, "What is that riff? Like, remember that? We're going to record that right now."
Yeah, excellent.
It just came out a bit different. It's a bit more upbeat and like, I don't know, bouncy sounding.
Yep.
Because I know the other ones are a bit more driving and like just straight punk. This one's like 80s synth, I guess.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you had any reviews or no? Like
no, this is the first one so far.
Okay.
I mean,
have your friends listened to it? Have you had some good feedback?
Oh,
have you had feedback like, oh, I don't, yeah.
We've had feedback from people, like no formal reviews. Yeah, generally positive, which is nice.
Yeah, of course.
We made up cassettes for it, and a couple went out. One went to England.
Wow.
Another one went to America, which is pretty cool. I mean, because we're a small band, so we're just ecstatic. Anyone at all, it's like happy to listen to it.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, better reception than part 1, which is always ideal. You want to keep progressing forwards.
Is there going to be a tour on top of this, or just
sort of? We had the release show on the 22nd in La La's at Wollongong.
Okay. Yep.
That was a real fun night. And then we're going down to Melbourne next weekend, which is kind of like a semi-formal tour. It's just an excuse to go out and play a bunch of shows with some friends.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no big tour yet. We're thinking we got like a rough aim to record an album this year. And the idea was hopefully to do like a little, like interstate tour around, November, December, kind of summertime.
Okay.
But they're hard to organize.
Oh, I could imagine. I could imagine. Geez, a lot of the questions I had were a lot of there were a lot of studio questions. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, technically it's a studio at home.
But... Yeah, true. Well, we spoke about that. What did the band? What was the rest of the band's input into when you played? When you said this is the end result? What do you think? Everyone was sort of like, yeah, fucking happy. That's mad.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I'm very lucky that everyone else in Ocean's very like receptive, and they're more than happy to like hear a finished song and be like, yeah, we'll learn that. And same thing. I want them to have fun, so they kind of just add their own parts as they feel will fit. Which was different for this one because the first EP we did in the Astronaut Attack series, the songs were just done. So it's just like, here's the EP, and they just learnt it. Because this one had the whole COVID break, we started playing them before the EP was finished recording.
Oh, okay.
Which was funny because they'd add all this cool stuff in, and I'd be like, I really want that in the song, but like the instrumental's already recorded now. So when we play it live, there's a few different things in there. Untitled 5 ends up being like a lot faster and heavier. Jacob adds like this cool like stop section in. Or like the big ambient section, Untitled 6, we tend to drag that out a lot longer and sort of make a show out of it.
Yeah.
Like we'll run around and have a drink and people just keep playing the chords.
Yeah.
But no, like they like I said, it sucked because they had all these really cool ideas after it had been recorded, which is why we want to for the next one much more collaborative and get all that in. Yeah. Obviously 5 heads are better than 1.
Oh, definitely. Like it was so your bass guitarist didn't turn around and say, how do you expect me to do that? I don't,
That's me.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, wow. I do bass and vocals for this one.
Because I've seen you live before, and I never picked that up, I guess. Because I just know you as a guitarist.
From Rejects.
Yeah. And about the Rejects, how were they? Were they? What do you call it? Did they have like, yep, you can go do this, blah blah blah? Were they good about it? Were they?
What, with Ocean?
Yeah, with Ocean.
Oh yeah, I chilled out because I was in Ocean before Radio Rejects.
Yeah, of course.
So when I joined them, it was kind of like, I'm here, I'll commit to the band and stuff, but also I've got my own thing going on.
Yeah,
and they're very supportive, especially Josh. Because he runs Bit of Mongrel, so he's always like sharing our posts and getting our music out there for people, which I very much appreciate. He's a lot more organized than I am with that kind of thing.
Good old Josh. Yeah. So yeah, they were fine. Like it wasn't like, that's great. And it's the total thing about it was I was kind of expecting, I don't know why, but I was expecting a bit of a Radio Reject sound. I don't know why. And when I listened, like I've listened to the whole recordings about 3 or 4 times now, and it's like I said at the beginning, I couldn't put it in a genre. I'm just like, it was grungy, punky, and then
it's just a little bit
like
weird.
a bit of Mike Oldfield in there, Tubular Bells kind of stuff. Yeah, it was.
I think like the Cure.
Yeah.
Cure was like a big influence, especially like the like late 80s sort of period.
Yeah, definitely.
There's another band called Bright Calm Blue. They were like that Midwest emo sort of early 2000s sound.
Okay.
Actually, Sean from Owen Guns put me onto them.
All right.
They're great.
Yeah, I'll have to give them a listen. Yeah. I have to give them a listen.
They're good.
So a bit of a Cure influence in there, you were saying.
Yeah, like I don't know if that actually shines through in the music, but it was something I really liked. Like The Cure was the band that I kind of learned to play synth from.
Okay.
When I first got into playing synthesizers, I was listening to like The Walk and Hanging Garden and stuff like that. Charlotte sometimes.
Oh, he was a master. He was definitely still.
Like I do have a very soft spot for like 80s synth pop as well. Like I'm not too proud to admit I do like Madonna. Especially like early Madonna kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Like-
Bye.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
That's all good, dude.
And don't do the motorbike thing at the moment, darling. No. He came off his motorbike yesterday. I think he's got a bit of concussion, but he wants to go back out riding.
Oh, he's gonna get it checked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's probably good. idea. You don't want to mess around with your head.
Wollongong. It's hard to get a doctor. You got to book days in advance.
Yeah,
or
least a
sit at
week.
the hospital for 3 hours or something.
dude. 3 hours if you're lucky.
Mm. Yeah, well, yeah, which is pretty good. If you're a kid, you get seen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Which Anyway, we're not talking about that. Anyway, last things like.
Yep.
And if you were writing a review on your recordings, say you take yourself away from it, you're
Yep.
just a reviewer. What would you say?
Well, that's a rough one. I guess I'd probably like touch on the recording quality first because, it's meant to be, but I know it's kind of a rough, lo-fi sort of home bedroom sounding recording, which isn't for everyone.
You can't notice it, but really,
You don't reckon?
honestly, cannot know. Not at
I
all.
think a lot of that comes from James from Sonic Sorcery. He's the guy that mastered the EP for us.
Mhm.
It literally sounds like, you give him a recording, it's like someone took a wet blanket off it when he gives it back. It's just
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
clearer and brighter. It's short. Like I think it's 9 minutes start to finish for the whole EP. So, you can get in and listen to it without it eating up your entire day.
yeah.
I guess,
Yeah,
it's heavy and loud. A lot of
Yep.
dirty synth in there.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm sure a lot of people will think the same thing. Just so we can get the interviews out really quickly with the album reviews, I try to keep
Yep.
it to about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That way it'll come out in a couple of days. So thank you heaps, Javen.
No worries.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it,
having
mate.
me on, Matt.
No
Cheers for
worries,
checking out the
mate.
EP.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have this up in a couple of days. So yeah,
Awesome. We'll give it a share around when it's ready. Cheers, dude.
definitely. Cheers, mate. Good to speak to you again.
You too, man. You take it easy.
See you, mate.